Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this educator session. I'm welcoming back Joe and Adam, Rockport Wealth Advisors. Guys, welcome back. Thanks.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So today we're going to discuss the 5 oversights educators make in their retirement planning. We're going to give everybody an overview of the upcoming session. So with that, I'll turn it over to each of you, and let's go through these.
It's great. No, thanks, Jeff. I mean, we've got, like I say, we have 5 different oversights that we commonly run into when we're working with educators in particular. And as you said, we'll get into more detail on these later on in other podcasts. But right now, we'll just kind of scrape the surface a little bit. And the first one that we run into is folks not taking advantage of their 403B or TSP options. Things like, you miss out on potential matching money, which is free money, and we'll get more into that later on as well. We're actually amazed at how many people don't take advantage of those for whatever reason. It's important to start early, be consistent, use what we call dollar cost averaging to build up a nest egg over a long period of time. And what we, like I was saying, we commonly run into is with the younger generation in particular is, I'll start later on. I'll start when I'm 50 or something like that. And that doesn't, the stats clearly show the earlier you start and the more consistent you are, the better off you're going to be. So taking advantage of the 403B, TSP, whatever's offered to you is a really key component to having a secure retirement. So, Adam, you want to take number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
You want to jump on that?
Not knowing if they have enough life insurance. One of the biggest problems is, and a lot of them will have some life insurance through their university or through their the school that they work for. But what they don't find out is that that's enough for what they need, and 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be enough, whether it's now or down the road. They don't know how to calculate that number. They don't know how to get to that number without, kind of looking at the whole picture. So they'll just give you maybe 1 or 2 times the salary, and that's for somebody with a family, that's not nearly enough. And we've seen the ramifications of that, unfortunately, and what it does to a family. So I think it's really important that they find out how to, and we'll get into that in another session, as well as how do we calculate what we need, or what kind of things we need to look at when we're looking at how much life insurance we need.
Right, especially as it relates to a single person versus a family, like you stated. I think that's definitely really a key component there. Very much so.
Well, and you get into it as well, and you're just talking about young people and not taking advantage the rates that young people can get on life insurance. You got to look forward. Things are going to change. If you have a family and everything, you can get it locked in so cheap when you're young, as to when you may actually have that family. So those are all things that we'll discuss in the next one. In I think session 4, we'll talk about that one.
And I think just to interject here,
sure.
You talk about change. The year 2020, I think everybody realizes uncertainty is really, we've had it really good for a long time, and now we have a lot of uncertainty out there. So insurance plays a big role outside of what your group is, whether you're single or married.
Correct. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I think a lot of those concerns are coming to the forefront with everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like Adam was saying too, unfortunately, we've run into situations where that need wasn't addressed early on, and something happened, and it's like every other form of insurance. It doesn't necessarily benefit. It might benefit you, it may not. This particular insurance benefits those the ones you love, not yourself. So it's something you got to kind of look past individually to think of everybody else.
And let me interject again. I just thought of this. So when you're dealing with these educators, they tend to have more than one stop along the way. Are you finding that they have group benefits that they thought they still had, Are they left behind that they weren't
Yeah,
aware of?
all too common that one school has a different benefit package than another. So you've got somebody who thought that they had X number of dollars of insurance, and that was maybe two stops ago, and that doesn't carry along with them. It normally just kind of resets with the new benefit package. So yeah, there's definitely some times where people actually just don't even realize what they have or don't have when they've made some moves.
Okay.
And on to number three. Number three is not having access to good financial advice or education resources. There's so many different pieces to some of these benefit packages, and they might have a resource for each one, just kind of stating what it is, not how it pertains to their personal situation. So part of what we're trying to do with this podcast series and some of the other programs that we're putting together is, start giving access to personal information and personal advice instead of maybe just product by product. Looking at the different silos, you got to look at the whole picture together and getting personal advice along the way.
Right.
Right. And educators, in particular with this group of individuals, they're experts in their area, whether it be biology, math, English, whatever it might be, and we can offer some expertise then in areas maybe that they're just not as familiar with. So it's key to be able to, it all ties together: the education, the planning, the investments, and so forth. So it's something that I think is largely overlooked by most people. So, you good on that, Adam? Go to number 4.
Yeah. No, I think
Okay.
I think we can move on to the next one.
Okay. Yeah. The next one is knowing the risk in your investments, and this one is something that we run into a situation a lot where people have their investments much more aggressive than they are or they think they are as an individual. And risk tolerance, as we use the word, is very it's a little bit, I don't know how you say it. I don't want to say the word is confusing, but it may be, because everybody's risky when the market goes up and everybody wants no risk at all when the market goes down. And it's important to find your personal level of how much risk can you take, how much down in your investments, and unfortunately that does happen, can you take, how much pain can you take before it starts to bother you. And we have tools that help with that. We use a tool called Riskalyze, which is the best tool we've ever seen in the period of time we've been doing this to help people analyze what type of investor they really are. And you need to arrive at that, because it's you can be too conservative, especially as a younger person. You can be too aggressive, especially as maybe an older person. You've got to arrive at, most importantly, 2 things. And we'll get into both of these when the time comes. But one is, how much risk are you willing to take? And how much risk do you need to take to make your plan work? And that's what we'll get to in number 5 about having a financial plan. It's maybe you don't need to take a ton of risk to make your personal plan work. How often have we seen that one, Adam? People, I need to make 10%. No, you don't. You only need to make 4 or 5.
I need to make the returns. I'm watching the S&P go up by 20, but I'm only getting 10. Well,
right.
Guess what? If it goes the opposite direction, you don't need to take that much risk. So
Correct.
Why take 100% of the down when you don't need to?
And by the way, we ran your plan and you only need 5.
Yep.
So exactly. So we run into that one pretty often. So we'll be able to drill down a lot on risk tolerance and the importance of it, and just the general kind of misconceptions that are out there regarding risk and so forth. And then that leads us into number 5, which we feel is really the one that wraps it all together, which is having a financial plan. And Adam, if you want to start on that, I'll jump in. But
yeah, I think all the pieces that we've been talking about are all wrapped up in a financial plan, and everybody needs to have clear goals, objectives. We found way too many people who are, I'm saving in my retirement plan. Well, what are you saving towards? Well, retirement. What does that mean? Without a plan and a defined objectives, you don't know if you're saving enough. You know, you you might be saving towards $20,000 in expenses per year when you retire, but you actually want to spend 50 to 100. Well, with the plan, you could have seen these shortfalls, ahead of time and kind of put together the your saving structure the way that it should be based on, what your goals and objectives are.
Right. And having the plan really, we've noticed mostly that it reduces kind of anxiety and stress that goes along with thinking about retirement. It'd be like trying to get in your car and drive from Miami to Anchorage without GPS or a map. You'd eventually might get there, but you might make a lot of wrong turns along the way and it's going to stress you out. If you have a plan, i.e. a map or like a GPS, it's just going to kind of help relieve the situation in general, make you a little more comfortable on where you're heading, and just kind of give you that peace of mind that, hey, I got it. I'm 55 years old. I'm going to retire at 62. I'm on track. That's what you need to see, and it just brings the whole stress level down. We find out because there's a certain amount of stress that goes with thinking about retirement and retirement planning, and it's a stressful time in general because your paycheck is ending. And you're thinking, boy, I've been worked my whole life and I've always gotten paid. Now, how am I going to get my money, and do I have enough? This will answer all those questions. So
yeah,
that'll be a good segment.
Yeah, we had clients in March that were scared to death with balances dropping. The number of times that I went back and said, okay, let's look at the plan. And even with that market drop, their plan still worked. And it alleviated so much stress and, went back to the understanding of the importance of that plan and not looking at, balances. Balances hurt, right? When balances go down, it hurts. But it hurts a little bit less when you know that you still be able to live in your retirement years the way that you're looking for.
All right, that's some great information. Thanks to both of you.
Yeah, definitely. No, enjoyed it.
Okay, so can you give out the website to everybody listening in? We'll post it for those that are viewing the episode on YouTube or one of our other channels. But for those just listening in, where can they go to get that risk test evaluation?
Yeah, they can go to rockportwealth.com, and you'll see up in the corner there'll also be a slider right on the main screen when you get to the website that'll ask you what's your risk number.
Okay.
And they'll be able to go right on there, click on it, go through the whole.
And we get the results right down. Yeah. Yep. Results are emailed right to us. So it's very easy. Probably take them all maybe 10 minutes tops. Most likely 5.
And that's just a starting point.
Correct.
You can also go to publicpensionchecklist.com for more information on your particular pension and retirement system. You can also post a question or comment for Adam and Joe there. We'll get it to them. You can schedule a meeting on a master 15-minute no-cost consultation with either Adam or Joe. And there's a lot of moving parts to your retirement out there. And this firm is dedicated a vision of their company to serve educators in the public sector. And I think it's some great information. So with that being said, today was the overview of the 5 areas. Look for the next episode to be uploaded shortly, where we're going to talk about how you can take advantage of your federal, the TSP, state and local 403B, 457, and 401ks out there, how to take advantage of those qualified plans now. So with that said, we want to thank everybody. Once again, I appreciate your time, guys. I know you're busy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll be back shortly with the next episode, and you can catch previous episodes on our multiple podcast channels. I interview financial advisors across the country who are focused on specific niche markets. You can go to jeffroediger.com. That's JEFFROEDIGER.com and check out that whole podcast series. You'll get to see Adam and Joe smiling, and we're glad to have them on our team. So this concludes our session today. Look for the next episode. Thanks a lot.